Hello dear viewer, in the last episode we set up camp on Glauber to produce agricultural science packs and unlock the biolab. Today we will build a starter base on Fulgora, the last of the inner planets. If there's one planet where starting with no items whatsoever is easy, it's Fulgora. Nevertheless, I will bring some substations, accumulators, logistic and construction bots. 2 exoskeletons and a portable fission reactor for my equipment grid. And off we go. As you can see in the top right corner, we are already at mining productivity 18. That and the big mining drill and scrap productivity will turn Fulgora into a planet with infinite resources. Okay, and that's our landing site. I will use the cargo landing pad to send down all items from orbit to the planet's surface. Let's find an island with a nice scrap depot. I can already see one on the minimap at 6 o'clock. Even better, there's an adjacent island down south. But first we have to mine quite a lot of Fulgoran ruins. Smelting stone to craft the first lightning rods. When placing lightning rods, try to maximize the area of effect. The more area is covered, the more lightnings we can catch. Additionally, I don't want my bots to get hit by lightning. Other than the lightning rods, nothing should get hit by lightning. Unless I find a DeLorean. Fortunately, I have bots. Mining all of those ruins by hand would be cumbersome. The islands are so close together that I can connect the electrical grid with substations. Because Fulgora's islands are so small, I cannot use my 18x18 grid from Norvis, Glauber and Volcanus. Here we have to adapt to the shape and size of the islands we find. To craft basic items we have to recycle gears into iron plates and copper cables into copper plates. At this level of mining productivity, 6 big mining drills should be sufficient. Efficiency modules to keep the electricity demand low. I selected this spot for a huge array of recyclers. If you've seen my Fulgora Sushi Belt guide, one of my most popular videos, you will recognize this pattern. Scrap will be recycled and then the recycled items will loop back into the same recycling block. And this is the famous Fulgora splitter, used to filter items off the sushi belt without blocking it. If you want me to explain this in detail, the video is linked in the top right corner and description. I'm using the splitter combination to filter off all possible items that can appear on the sushi belt. The 12 initial items from scrap and the resulting items after recycling. I am struggling with the layout though. I want to use as little space as possible. Eventually I settled with this design. Let's move it a couple of tiles to fit in even more recyclers. In comparison to my video, I won't be using the long sushi belt this time. Instead, all possible items will get a dedicated yellow storage chest with a filter setting. And then I will use bots to supply the production lines. So this will be kind of a hybrid between my sushi belt idea and a bot base. I think this is the optimal solution because the island I have to work with is very small. You can't have too many accumulators on Fulgora. The more the better. I'm using the mod Anti-Gloom to make nights less dark, but I don't know, it seems like the mod doesn't work on Fulgora. So let's use some lamps. Similar to the other planets, I use my parameterized mall blueprint to build a mall. The scrap recycling block is done, so let's move on by setting up the Fulgora technology chains. Starting with the water production. And holmium solution. Nothing special, I'm using requester chests to request stone, holmium and the ice for the water production. To produce holmium plates I utilize the foundry because of the 50% productivity bonus. Additionally I want to use productivity modules, but electricity consumption is a problem, trying to counteract with a beacon full of efficiency modules. On the right side of the island we will set up heavy oil processing, turning it into lubricant and light oil. I will also set up the production of petroleum gas. This allows me to make sulfur, sulfuric acid and batteries, because most of the time the quantity of batteries from scrap isn't sufficient. Okay, now that we have holmium plates, we can craft the electromagnetic plant. After crafting one, I will use it immediately to craft more because of the productivity bonus. Next, I want to create a mall blueprint for electromagnetic plants, similar to the one I already have for assemblers. Using the new blueprint to make some modules. Even though I'm setting up the production of quality modules, I have no intentions to use quality anywhere in my base for now. Let's set up the production of superconductors using the mall blueprint. A maximum of 400 items should be fine at this point. I can bump up the numbers for a kilo later on. Next, setting up the production of electrolyte. I always underestimate the amount of EM plants needed. Let's start by using 4. It's actually a very simple recipe. Infinite heavy oil from Fulgora's ocean, holmium solution and stone. Four electromagnetic plants to produce supercapacitors. And finally in this chain, the production of electromagnetic science packs. I was kind of struggling to find the perfect place for the electromagnetic plants. I started building them on the right side, but then I decided to put them left of the recycling block. I certainly want to use productivity modules here. Again, I'm using beacons with efficiency modules to keep the electricity consumption low. Finally, we need rocket silos to launch the science packs into space. I think 2 silos will be sufficient, but we will see. To craft silos, I have to set up the production of engines and electric engines. Fulgora is the easiest planet to get rocket parts, because scrap recycles into processing units and low-density structures naturally. All we have to do is turn light oil into rocket fuel, because solid fuel is also an outcome of scrap recycling. I was really struggling to find the optimal combination of modules. This is a blackout. I need way more accumulators. Eventually I found a nice balance between productivity and efficiency modules. Setting up the production of sulfur, sulfuric acid and additional batteries. Okay, that's it. Let's automate the transportation of the electromagnetic science pack to Norvis. Meanwhile on Norvis we are already working on the mining productivity level 21 research. Here we go, the first science packs are ready for the trip to Norvis. There are so many nice technologies unlocked on Fulgora. Which one should I get first? What do you think? Well, I decided to go for the lightning collector first, because of the energy problems on Fulgora, followed by 1 level of processing unit productivity. Lightning collectors will increase the area coverage. Let's set up production and use them immediately. I still need more accumulators. Fulgora can be remotely controlled, so let's fly to Norvis and increase the productivity of my base by utilizing the electromagnetic plant. But first requesting EM plants on my spaceship. It's nice to be back on Norvis. Let's request EM plants and recyclers. The first thing I want to refactor is my module production. Modules aren't intermediates, which means naturally you can't use productivity modules. But as you already know, the EM plant has a built-in 50% productivity bonus for all items. Level 3 modules are significantly more affordable now, because we take advantage of the bonus 3 times. Of course, there are more common items you can make with EM plants, like solar panels, accumulators, beacons, and even substations. The main benefit of having electromagnetic plants unlocked is improving the circuit production. Starting with processing units, or blue circuits. Right now I want to increase productivity even more by using modules. Later on I can get rid of them, because the game has processing unit productivity research. The benefit of using modules decreases with more research levels. This phenomenon is called diminishing returns. Next up, replacing the red circuit production. Keep in mind that all of these productivity bonuses are multiplicative. For example, if you produce a level 3 module, you get extra productivity 6 times for green, red, blue circuits and every level of the module production. It's a day and night difference. And because all of these space age technologies increase productivity so much, I'm convinced that I don't even have to expand my Norvis base to finish the game and get quite far in research. On the one hand, it's kind of cool, but unfortunately, that also means that we don't need any trains to build a decently sized base. At this point in time, I had to wait for the delivery of more electromagnetic plants from Fulgora. Okay, I'm done replacing the left red circuit production. Time to get rid of the old assemblers making green circuits. Because I produce quite a lot of modules, I have to fill an entire turbo belt full of green circuits. The great thing about a main bus is, a quick look at the belts reveals what's bottlenecking the base. In this case it's red circuits, which is why I double production. I already researched Tesla turrets, so let's set up production on Fulgora to export the strongest perimeter defense weapon to Glauber and Norvis. I'm not satisfied with the sushi belt throughput on Fulgora. To improve it, I cut the recycling blocks in half. The purpose is to have 2 dedicated recycling blocks, one for scrap and one for the other items. There are multiple reasons why this is beneficial. When mixing scrap with other items, you sometimes lose the scrap productivity bonus. And you can get rid of some unwanted items before merging them with a sushi belt, like for example gears, ice and solid fuel. I made an entire video about this topic, it's linked in the top right corner and description. Oh, and I just set up some Tesla ammo for my engineer. It's also very effective against enemies on Glauber and Norvis. Let's see the Tesla gun and ammo in action. I want to set up a Tesla perimeter soon, which is why these aircrafts have to be removed. Notice how the Tesla shots chain between the strafer's legs. That's what makes Tesla weapons so strong on Glauber. It's like a 4 or 5 times damage multiplier. Of course, now that I have electromagnetic plants, I also want to use them on Glauber. Top left corner you can see I already used them for the red and blue chips. Tesla turrets require a lot of energy, which is why I have to build a large rocket fuel subfactory. Initially I have to process quite a lot of Yumako and jelly nut to get the required amounts of rocket fuel. But since there's a rocket fuel productivity research, the fruit consumption will go down and down as time goes by. To burn the rocket fuel I use this heating tower block, featuring 16 heat exchangers. That's 160 megawatt. $160 won't be enough though, so let's copy and paste to make 320 megawatts. I think I don't have to explain how the Tesla parameter works. It's very simple, just a bunch of turrets in a row. By creating a grid blueprint and in combination with my other blueprints, building the parameter all around the Glauber base is very easy. Why not make it 480 megawatts? And this is how the parameter looks like in map view. There are still quite a lot of Tesla turrets missing though. Fulgora cannot keep up making the science packs and Tesla turrets at the same time. I simply don't have enough holmium ore for both. My first artillery turret. As soon as the parameter is complete, I want to produce artillery shells. To make them we need coal, and the only way to get coal on Glauber is by using coal synthesis. To make it work I also have to produce carbon from spoilage. Now that coal is available, I can set up explosives. And finally the production of artillery shells. Oops, I forgot to produce radars. The first artillery shot. Tesla turrets are simply the best on Glauber. Now I can get rid of the lasers at my outposts. This base is now fully secured and safe. Only strafers can deal a minimal amount of damage by shooting their slimy projectiles. The parameter draws 250 megawatts continuously. No big deal for my rocket fuel power plants. There's one item that I still unnecessarily import to Glauber, LDS. Now that Glauber produces its own low density structures, it's fully independent. Let's go from 480 to 640 megawatts. Thank you for watching and please consider supporting me on Patreon. Next episode will be very interesting. I have to build an Akilo-worthy spaceship and build a base on the coldest planet in Factorio. Don't miss it. See you there.